What happened in qualifying?
Charles wasn't on pole. Thanks for watching. Right, let's get into Q1, shall we? Where the bottom five were Bortoleto, Bearman, Gasly, Stroll and Colapinto. And let's reflect, actually, with a question about something that happened prior to all of qualifying, and that was the Bearman incident, the fact that he has a 10-place grid penalty. P1 Patreon member Drippy asks, why don't the FIA mandate an instant red flag screen on the steering wheel? Ollie's penalty is absolute rubbish. Now, to confirm, I have watched the clip back several times. A red light does come on. I think it's on both sides of the steering wheel, a little red light to inform Bearman that there was a red flag, and I'm pretty sure it was instantaneous. So that side of things, there is really no excuse. I do feel sorry for Bearman. I mean, not that he didn't really lose that many positions, but in the fact that Sainz was going incredibly slowly, but of course it's a red flag. I think it was probably the fact he wasn't on a lap, knew Bearman was coming, and there was a red flag, so he's going really slowly. It was a massive difference in speed. And so you kind of go, well, the letter of the law is one thing, but then you have to have some kind of common sense as well, because the closing speeds were very, very, well, it was massive. So I do feel a little bit sorry for Ollie, but at the same time, had he reacted to the red flag immediately, he may well have got away with it. Remember just the braking power that these cars have. You can slow down very quickly indeed. So that's probably where the stewards deemed it still a penalty. It was close, I think, between getting away with it and not, but he unfortunately fell on the side of a 10-place grid penalty.
I disagree that it was close. I think it's a slam dunk. If you overtake under a red flag, you get a penalty, and I think it's. No,
I'm saying if Sainz is going really slow and Bearman is 3, 4, 5 car lengths back, then there's a red flag. You have to have some common sense that he can't just slam on the brakes.
He should have slammed on the brakes there. I think that's what. That's
what I'm saying. If it had been any closer between the two of them, Bearman might well have got away with it because of the fact they were closer. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe. I think the thing is here that I've seen a lot of people very unhappy with this penalty. Formula One posted a clip about it, didn't they? And the absolute flood of comments going, this is an absolute ludicrous penalty. The problem here is that Ollie Bearman kind of took it into his own hands and said, well, actually, I thought it was more dangerous to slam the brakes on. So he's kind of admitted that he had seen the red flag, and you can't really take the law into your own hands and then argue afterwards. So I think it's definitely a penalty and justified. I mean, thankfully for Ollie Bearman, he's not the Haas in all the way up in 8th place, because you imagine how gutting it would have been then. And
to clear up as well for anyone confused, the camera illusion of it being a yellow panel is exactly that. It's an illusion. We had it many years ago with Hamilton at Monza, I believe, where there was questions about whether it was a red flag that was being shown on the panel or not. That was a red flag, despite it maybe looking yellow at certain points. So just to clear that up as well. But anyway, into qualifying we go. Question from P1 Patreon member Abu Dhabi 2021 Survivor. If Lewis gets a penalty, is it justified or not, given that the pit wall didn't provide accurate information regarding Max? So this is, of course, where Hamilton up the hill in that sort of left-hander as we head into that wonderful... well, I guess the first sector split is just down the hill after that, isn't it? But yeah, that sort of left-hander, turn 3, I believe, where Hamilton actually crashed, of course, in practice. It is, without a doubt, a penalty, in my opinion. I think it's impeding. And we were discussing this on the watch-along. Impeding is impeding. It doesn't matter that Verstappen got through. It doesn't matter that, both of... Those are the consequence. The actual thing that happened is that Hamilton slowed down because his team radio engineer said that Verstappen... Well, no, he slowed down to let him through. Then he sped up because he was told that Max had slowed down. He hadn't slowed down at all. He'd braked for turn 1 probably. And then, a bit of confusion, but it doesn't matter. It's the team, the driver, they are all one entity. And especially in a competitive session, in my opinion, that sadly, it should be a penalty.
It should be a penalty, and I'm sure, the fact that Max Verstappen is behind Hamilton on the grid now as well, Red Bull will surely be arguing that one at the stewards constantly, because you can't take circumstances into it. And yes, it wasn't you can blame communication and stuff, but like you say, it's a team sport. Not saying it's the same level of incident, but of course, yesterday, Lance Stroll had a miscommunication with who was on track and penalised, and obviously there was a crash there, so it's more dangerous. But he got a one-place penalty, and that was a practice session.
Not the only drivers to get messed up laps as well, because of course Kimi Antonelli, who you've kept very quiet about Q1, Tommy, and not mentioned it so far.
Well, technically he got through to Q2, so...
He still crashed, my brother. We're talking about Q1, and this is where he crashed, was Q1. He made it through to Q2, but his car did not.
Yeah.
Antonelli, made a mistake, and very easy to be done. Hadjar done it in practice with his left rear, obviously coming out the tunnel, the left-hander, and Antonelli just breaking his suspension on his front left, and that's curtains. Into the wall he goes. Hadn't looked great. Mercedes have looked horrendous this entire weekend, to be honest with you. And then I guess the question is now, we were discussing this, weren't we, Tommy, on the watch along as well? What do Mercedes, what do Kimi, and now obviously George as well do? With Kimi Antonelli, we disagreed. I said that if he can start 15th and he doesn't have to change his gearbox and everything else and start from the pit lane anyway, then I think you take 15th. Try to navigate the turn one carnage. And if you want to then do this crazy one stop, do it from 15th rather than starting from the pit lane, losing 10 seconds off the back of the field and then pulling your pit stop. It's all a time race, in my opinion, this sort of two stop, especially if you're going for an early pit stop. So
by
that's
one
what
stop,
I would
you mean
do.
lap one?
Stop on lap one. But you would do it, in my head, from a strategic point of view, from 15th rather than off the back.
Yeah, the Antonelli crash, bad moment for him, turning in too early, and just completely destroyed the front suspension. I did joke on the watch along that it kind of plays into my hands more, and I am still backing it because.
Wait, you're still backing a Kimi win?
No, well, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. No, actually,
you're not against it.
George has ruined it actually, and we'll get onto this next. But the fact that a quick car at the back would do this crazy strategy, which we'll get onto in a bit. Actually, that was my thinking. I didn't think Antonelli was going to be absolutely rapid around here. I'm thinking spawns out of nowhere in this crazy pit stop thing, and you never know tomorrow because it's going to be very interesting to see what Mercedes do.
And actually, whilst we're talking about that, someone that was watching along and sent a message during our quali chats was that there is a possibility, if we get a safety car, that we could see a pit stop and then another pit stop under the same safety car. Now, this is a loophole I've not seen.
About that, surely.
No, you can pit under a safety car. You then change onto some hard tyres after you've changed onto some mediums. The only thing, of course, there's been a lot of tiny little bits of information that perhaps you've missed, and obviously one of them is that you have to run the medium or the hard. That is a mandatory tyre that you have to run at some point. You can't just plonk on 3 softs and then you're done. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it? If we do get a safety car, I am fully expecting, unless this loophole is clarified by tomorrow, that this will be exploited.
I can't believe we've not heard more about it, personally. I really, I'm glad that they've not tried to implement a pit stop window where you have to do it, because I think that would ruin the kind of craziness of it.
Right, let's head to Q2 then, where the 5 drivers out were Sainz, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Russell and Antonelli. P1 Patreon member R&B Sheep. Do Mercedes risk getting pit twice really early? Overtaking is almost impossible, and they start 14th and 15th with almost no hope of points. So, of course, we were talking about Antonelli there and perhaps something he could do differently. Maybe, I'm just putting this out there, Antonelli just binned it because why not? And then Russell, they just turned his car off. They went, hold on, I think we're cooking here. Let's get both Mercedes at the back, work together. And obviously I'm being in jest here, but I think that there is something that they can do differently for sure. With Russell, it's devastating, isn't it, to have a power issue for him. He almost managed to roll it all the way back to the pits because he hit a downhill section, and then the marshals were laughing along, weren't they, as well, when they were pushing the Mercedes. But they have to do something different. I can't imagine they would put both of them on the same strategy. I don't know what sort of different thing you could do that's also really aggressive other than pitting really early. But it's going to be interesting to watch, and one that, as you say, to have a fast car towards the back that might be pulling something different will be interesting. The only problem is, say we don't get a safety car lap 1, Russell, Antonelli, they pit early, they will catch the back of the pack, and then we will get that sort of... It won't be as if, Norris at the front is going 10 seconds a lap slower than everyone else because he has to still get 2 stops out the way. So I don't think we're going to see that same train that we've seen in years gone by. So I think there's only going to be a level of success that you can get with that.
Exactly. This is why I think it's a really good idea, is because you can't do the strategy of just backing the whole field up because you can't be overtaken. You can't do that anymore because you run the risk of basically being undercut by the entire field. Maybe even worse, be someone that's done 2 stops and you've not done a single one. You can't back the field up because they've got 40 seconds on you. So the Mercedes strategy team, now they've kind of got a weird advantage that they can just throw away anything and it doesn't matter about the result. They can just go for an absolute gamble. So maybe, with one of them, like an Antonelli, they do a double stop straight away, and then George Russell maybe gets 1 stop out of the way and you split the strategy like that. The
more and more I'm talking about it, the more excited I am at the whole prospect. Because
it's going to be so good.
You've got this whole, drivers taking really early pit stops. But for the likes of Lando that we're talking about having this 2 stop that you have to do, so therefore you're going to be tearing around, you still don't want to give up track position. So at what stage... do you have Leclerc just following Lando for the entire race, waiting for Lando to give up track position, but that never happens? Yeah. And so you have got this sort of playing chicken sort of scenario.
It will be chicken,
but then you could have Hamilton, that's obviously 4th, could take a bit more of a risk, unless obviously he gets a grid penalty. Game on, actually. Monaco's the greatest race of all time. So
I've said, and people laughed at me for this, and it may still age terribly and it doesn't work. Monaco's signature thing that could make it crazy is because it's so hard to overtake. So the novelty needs to be that you can't overtake. So there's something. So it has to be done in the pits. So creating more pit stops means that you're just guessing all the time. You look at the races in history where it's come down to the pit stops. That's what's made Monaco exciting, where someone's messed up on a pit strategy or something.
Right, okay, let's head to Q3, the big one, where the top 10 were Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton, Verstappen, Hadjar, Alonso, Ocon, Lawson, and Albon. First question, Craig Tilley, 95. Has Lando got his mojo back? Lando's looked great this weekend, and the whole weekend is something that puts a monumental amount of pressure on all of the drivers, and I think even more so for Lando. Of course, he's clawed a few points back on Piastri, but that was a little bit of safety car here, or you had Miami where of course he beat Oscar. It's only a couple of points swing, obviously first to second and swapped. But this weekend, just when we haven't predicted him for anything, he's gone and put it on pole. Which it really needs to be studied, because I have been backing him for a few weeks in a row, and I've really kind of thought that there was a breakthrough weekend for Lando, and it's come for Monaco. He's starting on the front, McLaren still looking very quick indeed, and I've been thoroughly impressed with how Lando has just delivered, and delivered right at the end as well when he needed to.
We've kind of seen the opposite trend to what we've seen throughout the year with McLaren in qualifying, haven't we? Where McLaren are normally absolutely mighty Friday, absolutely nail Q1 and Q2. They're so quick. And then when it comes to the final laps, everyone kind of catches up and it's very close, and you get these insanely close gaps. And even when McLaren haven't been on pole, particularly Oscar Piastri, he's normally, even sometimes when he's in third, he's 0.09 off or something insane. So the fact that we've kind of seen the opposite this weekend, where McLaren just absolutely turned it on in the last part of Q3 and looked so good. Piastri probably left time on the table, I think, anyway, because he definitely could have been challenging for pole. Yeah, and what a lap from Lando. Very interesting strategy from them as well. We've criticised their strategy a lot this year, but going for those 2 laps worked absolutely brilliant for them.
P1 Petro member Problematically Sam, is Matt wearing his Charles Wins Monaco tinfoil hat? I'm wearing mine. Absolutely. It's game on. He's on the front row of the grid. If it was a one-stop race, if we didn't have these changeable strategy elements, then I would not really have that tinfoil hat, to be honest with you. I'd be more concerned about maybe losing out to Oscar Piastri, but anything is possible. Ferrari have looked quick this weekend, obviously, out of nowhere. Can't believe Charles not taken pole. I thought it was absolutely on until the first set of laps from McLaren in Q3 where I went a 10-1. Oh, God. But clearly the track had ramped up slightly. Charles still put a 10-0 on the board, which is a brilliant lap from him. And again, Ferrari are going to have to be on their A game. Charles can only do so much from the cockpit. This is a Ferrari, and they were great last time out. Ferrari cooked with Charles in Imola before everything went wrong, and he got really unlucky. But this is a Ferrari chess piece that needs to be perfectly moved tomorrow to win Charles the race.
I think the whole race relies on what that McLaren pace can be and if they're at the front, because there's always an opportunity with this two-stop for something to happen. But if McLaren do have that unbelievable race pace that maybe we've seen at Miami, it's going to be incredibly difficult for everyone else if Lando does indeed get clean air at the start and can just check away. So does still feel like his best bet is just getting a better run off the line and going into turn one. But there are so many opportunities because of this new strategy now.
There certainly is. Yep, lap one, turn one, of course, is an opportunity, but it's such a short run down towards that corner. I strongly believe, with Lando being better at his starts this year as well, I think Lando will have that covered, but we will have to wait and see. We'll be live, of course, with our watch-alongs, don't forget that, and we'll be screaming. Well, I will be. Tommy will be chill because Max is nowhere near the front. Question, speaking of Max, P1 Patreon member MK in LA. Why are Red Bull struggling so much with their setup on street circuits? It's been a track that Red Bull have struggled at in the past, haven't they? And Max did look like he was very much in the hunt for pole. I think he made a mistake on his final lap. Did not expect him to be 7/10 off Lando come the end. But P5, it's not a disaster. But it's, again, just very much pointing towards this very unpredictable Red Bull that can be so quick around the likes of Imola. And then you go to Monaco, it's bumpy, it's difficult, the car needs to be, the ride height needs to be lifted for these cars around here. And Friday, they were struggling no end. So for Max to be starting fifth, I'm sure you, Tommy, you're actually like, you know what, not the worst result in the world. No,
definitely not. I'm pretty happy with the top five, to be honest, with how I thought they were going to be. Maybe a little bit disappointed during the session because I think after free practice 3, Max did look like he might be able to challenge for pole, and maybe there were kind of questions there that he could potentially do something special, but it's not really a Red Bull track this year. I know that Max has kind of somehow been able to grab the odd pole, particularly Miami was the biggest shock, I think, because that wasn't suited to their car. But it's very much, the Imolas and the Suzukas are where Max will excel in that Red Bull with what they can do. Bumpy, tricky circuits where you need confidence in the car is not the one for them. So I think Max would actually be kind of, well, he wouldn't admit it, and I guess Max is never happy with anything other than first, and that's just the way he is. But it's a damage limitation weekend, I think, for Red Bull, it has to be said, because it's always going to be the fact that McLaren's would be quicker than them there. And then, it's just about how much of a gap there will be to Ferrari if he can grab some points there to keep his kind of championship hopes alive. Another question. Jersey Pool 90. Esty Bestie is back, baby. Woo! Tommy's good surprise is coming in. Esty Bestie. Ocon P8 in the Haas. His teammate will be starting from last with his penalty. And yeah, you've cooked here, Tommy. You've absolutely shredded like you do on the guitar, mate. That was a great shout. But it's not in yet. No, anything can happen. And he does need to score points, obviously, to get that good surprise. But he's in a great spot. It's funny that my good surprise, I thought it'd be quick around here. But it was maybe going, I think the way what we saw it in the practice sessions, Ocon was really poor and didn't look like he had any pace. He looked slower than Bearman, and just absolutely turned it on in qualifying in general. And the final part to be that close to P6 would have been an absolutely unbelievable result for Haas. And now they've kind of joked about the hero strategy. They can't really do that because now they are in that kind of mix of you do have something to lose. The guys at the back have nothing to lose, but the people at the front do have something to lose.
I can't wait all the same. It's going to be very interesting. Joe Formula 6P asks, was that one of the best qualifying sessions we have seen so far this year? Yes, it's the best qualifying session we've seen. Not purely because of the fact that it was close, but I just love the fact we just got action on action on action. It was non-stop. We had FP3, almost an entire, maybe 40 minutes of them just pummeling around this track. Q1, Q2, Q3 as well. It's more action than probably all of the qualifying sessions we've had up until this point.
Don't get me wrong, qualifying has been amazing this year, but we do have that kind of, everyone goes out, then they sit in the pit lane for 5 minutes, then everyone goes out again. And that is the kind of qualifying norm. Whereas at Monaco, you can't really afford to do that. And it's ironic that it was such a good qualifying session, because in 10 qualifying sessions, that was the second biggest gap to pole position that we've seen all year, which is absolutely
second
crazy.
Biggest gap, and it's a 10th.
Yeah, exactly. It's only the second time this year in all the qualifying sessions, including sprint qualifying, that it's been over a 10th. Absolute insanity this year in qualifying.
I've loved every second of it, and I can't wait for tomorrow as well. I think that we need to tell you that we'll be live. Watch-alongs. Of course we will. Twitch, YouTube, come and watch along with us. If you've never done it before, I would highly recommend it. It's an amazing community. Everybody is so welcoming, and we can talk. We talk to chat throughout the race, and it's an amazing community vibe. So come and join us either on Twitch or YouTube. Matt P1 Tommy. If you're afraid that we will be ahead of you or whatever, you can pause on YouTube. All that good stuff. So there you go, chat. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for our podcast, for our watch-alongs, and everything else in between. Can't wait for it. See you soon. Lots of love. Charles Leclerc to win everything. Bye!
And tonight, P20 to first masterclass. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, if that happens, mate, you can do whatever you want to me.